Aja Wilson has just lost it whilst being at the Olympics. And it isn't because of a bad play. No, it's because of Caitlin Clark. Ever since she has joined the league, she has stolen the spotlight, and even at the Olympics, she is being reminded of her due to her insane basketball sales in a Wilson collaboration. But that's just what Caitlin does. She takes over. Caitlin Clark's Wilson basketball has sold at a rate equivalent to her ability to shoot three-pointers. What about the ball belonging to A.A. Wilson? Is it still on the shelf looking lovely, or has it sold just as well? Let's dive in. Despite the fact that you might think it's just another basketball, Caitlin Clark's Limitless collection is anything but ordinary. Do you remember when we claimed this would be a piece of history? Make sure you're ready, because what Clark has achieved in this circumstance is nothing short of revolutionary.
Now Clark comes up with a steal. Clark thought about pulling up from three, will dip inside and lay it in.
At the rim, here, hesitation, you have to come on her, goes by. Her first two.
What makes these basketballs so unique? This cannot be accomplished simply by putting a name on a ball. Each design in the Limitless collection has its own story to tell. Furthermore, this is Caitlin Clark's story. Imagine that one of the balls includes Clark's handwritten message from secondary school. To what was it referring? Seek a basketball scholarship and perform in the WNBA. Imagine being able to fulfill your aspirations. You might say they're carrying a piece of basketball history in their hands. Furthermore, this is not all. These designs honor everything that makes Clark the player she is. What is her characteristic celebration after making a three-pointer? That's where it is. Which of her accomplishments break records? Without a doubt, these designs include her capacity to energize and thrill the audience during her performance. As you see this, you may be asking, these are some really cool designs, but do people buy them? Let me tell you, the word buying does not even begin to describe it. In this situation, we are discussing a full-fledged buying frenzy. Initially, the package was available for $99.95 and included 4 separate models: the EV NXT 3951 Game Basketball, WNBA Ascent Basketball, and Repetition Basketball. The Repetition Basketball costs $24.95. So what do you think? They were all sold out within a few hours. Do you realize how enthusiastic folks were to get their hands on these basketballs while they were still available? However, this is where things begin to get interesting. Wilson struggled to meet the unusually high demand. When each model became accessible to the public, it was almost immediately posted as sold out or out of stock. Simply put, they vanished without a trace. That's how popular Clark is. Don't worry if you're unhappy that you weren't able to join in. Wilson plans to refill its supplies during August. On the other hand, if the original launch is any indicator, you'll want to be quick when the resupply arrives. Given the enthusiasm around Caitlin Clark's collection, you may be thinking, what about A.A. Wilson? Before we move on, isn't it true that she has her own basketball? You are entirely accurate, and we are about to examine the basketball scenario with A.A. Wilson. This is the stuff she gets angry about. First and foremost, let us discuss the basketball that Aja Wilson is most known for. Wilson Sporting Goods, like Clark's, has it in their portfolio. At this stage, however, things start to look a little different. In contrast to Clark's collection, which is gaining popularity due to its unique designs and personal touches, Wilson's basketball is taking a completely opposite way. You are aware that Clark's balls have handwritten notes and professional highlights from her career. Aja Wilson's basketball, on the other hand, lacks the same kind of personal character. It does have her name and logo, but it lacks the distinctive designed components that create the idea that you are carrying a piece of the player's tale in your hands. However, it is worth noting that Aja Wilson is still regarded as an influential figure in the world of basketball. Her distinctive style in basketball is comparable to those of other famous players, such as Sabrina Ionescu and Angel Reeve. If you ask me, the fact that it can be purchased in the shape of a little basketball is really cool. And you may be asking, okay, but how does it market itself? Is it selling as well as Clark's line, which sells out quickly? At this point, things start to become interesting. Do you recall how we said Clark's basketballs were entirely sold out in a couple of hours? There was fierce rivalry among fans to get their hands on them. The narrative of Aja Wilson's basketball is not exactly the same as the one mentioned above. It is still available and customers are buying it. However, the same buying frenzy that we saw with Clark's collection does not express itself here. There has been no word of Wilson's basketball being sold out in a matter of hours or people waiting for restocks from the firm. So, what precisely is going on here with the distinction? Why? A'ja Wilson is a fantastic athlete, and the point here is not to debate the player's ability. However, it appears that Clark's collection's popularity has been driven mostly by its marketing and one-of-a-kind attraction. Think about it. Clark's collection is a distinctive series available in limited quantities. It gives off a get-it-before-it's-gone attitude. However, A'ja Wilson's basketball is part of a bigger collection. Although it is present and solid, it does not generate the same buzz as previously. Is this an indication that A'ja Wilson's basketball career has failed? Certainly not at all. It's still available. It is still part of Wilson's sporting goods portfolio, and it continues to be a great performer. When we look at the market's performance and customer enthusiasm, it's evident that Caitlin Clark's collection is now in a class by itself. And you may be thinking to yourself, okay, Caitlin Clark's basketball sold out quickly. Still, what's the big deal? To be honest, selling basketballs isn't the only thing involved. The issue under consideration is a brand strength. Is the person you see Caitlin Clark today? She is more than just a player. To put it simply, she is a sensation.
Clark, step back three, knocks it down. Before the Liberty fell to the Aces in 4 games. Clark connects.
Needs to be aggressive on the offensive end, and anytime her defender Carrington gets caught up on a screen, and a nice one by Aaliyah Boston on that possession.
Do you recall how we said Clark's basketballs were entirely sold out in a couple of hours? It's not simply pure luck, it is a forerunner of something far more substantial. When we talk about star power, we mean the type of power that transforms everything she touches into gold. What about the businesses? They've taken notice. However, this is where things begin to get interesting. Clark isn't only popular, she is altering the game. You may not be aware that she is the first female athlete to have her own Wilson collection since Michael Jordan. You have it correct. The goal here is to tear down decades-old obstacles. Perhaps you're wondering, what makes Clark so distinctive? Why are firms racing to work with her despite the circumstances? It's definitely not just one thing. The mix of skill, charisma, and timing is like the perfect storm. To begin, her on-court performance was great. Clark isn't only a decent person, she is so skilled that she breaks records. But there's more to it than that. People are drawn to her because of the intensity and presence she exhibits when playing. It's difficult to look away. Furthermore, her impact goes beyond the court. Clark's personality extends beyond basketball abilities. She is inspiring a whole new generation. You still recall what she said about her collection? I hope it inspires the next generation of boys and girls to pick up a ball and play. You simply define the type of message that connects with both fans and corporation. When you see Caitlin Clark on the floor, remember that you are not just watching her play basketball. We are currently seeing a phenomenon, a culturally significant symbol, and a brand that is changing the game one basketball at a time. And it has already sold out. Did you manage to grab a basketball for yourself? And can you understand A'ja's annoyance with what's happening? She has been one of the, if not the star of the WNBA over the last couple of years, but now in only a couple of months, she has been dethroned. That surely would have hurt her ego a bit, don't you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below.